For those who don't know me, my name is Elis. We're gonna go through a power flow. It's gonna be an intermediate advanced class, but don't be shy. If it's the first time you practice with me, there will be plenty of options available, so don't worry. Even if you're starting with a power flow, it's gonna be fun. Just take the playful side of it, and whenever you need to release down, to take a break, feel free to release on your child pose and just focus on your breath. If you're using your props, feel free to gather wherever you need. Also, you can drop me a message on the right hand side chat that you have next to your video. If there's anything you want to share with me, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm happy to be back at a regular time, Monday evening. So I hope you're there, and I hope you're ready to sweat a little bit more. Okay. Come to find your downward facing dog, and just take a moment to arrive into the space. Releasing down through your neck and shoulders. Have your feet as wide as your hips or maybe wider, keeping a soft bend into your knees. Start to gently release the back of your legs. Feel free to pedal up your feet, extending one leg at a time. Maybe taking a few waves, rolling up through the spine, so you start to warm up through the spine. Extending up through your arms, releasing down through the neck, lifting your tailbone up to the sky, spreading your weight with an alternate finger so you don't collapse into your rest. Taking a few deep breaths here, just for a moment, while everyone else joins us. Leaving everything planned for the rest of the evening behind. Leaving your day behind. Completely let it go. Just focus on the space around you. In feeling your body for a moment. Focusing on the physicality of your breath. Noticing your mood, your energy level tonight. Taking 2 more breaths here. This is your first inversion, so make sure you properly spread your weight within the fingers. You activate your core, lifting your belly away from your thighs. And softly coming through your tippy toes, walk your feet toward your hands, finding a gentle forward fold. Coming at the top of your mat, catch opposite elbows, taking a few rolls from side to side. Keeping your neck completely relaxed, your shoulders relaxed, keeping a soft bend into your knees. Rattle down from side to side. Then releasing down through your elbows, start to uncurl your spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Until you find your standing position, your mountain pose. Be slow, take your time, imagine you're moving through honey. Once you find your standing position, ground to the 4 corners of your feet. Activate your quads, lifting your kneecaps. Sending your tailbone toward your heels, lift your belly away from your thighs. And bringing your hands in prayer position in front of your chest, close your eyes for a moment. And take a moment just to set up your intention, your dedication for your practice tonight. Can be anything that allows your mind to stay still and focus. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose, let it go through your mouth. Again, inhale in through the nose, let it go through the mouth. And keeping your lips sealed on your next exhale, start to build up heat in your body by using your breath. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 2 more rounds on your own. Trying to lengthen the exhale as much as you can, keeping this breath count during your whole practice tonight. Try to keep the exact same length until the end of the practice. And releasing down your hands, blink open your eyes. Start to engage your Ujjayi breath, your victorious breath if you have one in your practice, creating that waving sound behind your throat. Engaging your Mula Bandha, your root locks. Start to lift your belly away from your thighs, engaging your core. Sending your belly button toward your spine. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha, your second lock. You use those two locks to lift your core, to take control over your legs. Relaxing through your shoulders, energetically send your fingers toward the ground. And taking a deep inhale, raise your hands up to the sky. Surya Namaskara. Hey, have fun everyone. Exhale, forward fold to your Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine, and on the exhale, ground your hands, step your right leg back, step your left leg back, find your high level plank. We'll take 3 long breaths here, activating through the core. Keep your belly away from your thighs, making sure you're not collapsing through the hips. Keep that long line from your tailbone up to the crown of your head, broadening the space between your shoulder blades. And gently releasing your knees, release your hips, your belly and your chest, and come all the way down to the ground. Raising your hands in line with your ears, lift your elbows, lift your thighs, point your toes, find your Shalavasana, warming through your lower back, opening up through your upper body, and releasing your hands, release your feet, slide your hips towards your heels, find your child pose, keeping your elbows away from the ground, softening down your neck, and pushing the ground away, tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your downward facing dog. Breathing in for 3, keep softening down your neck and your shoulders. Breathing in for 2, keep sending your thighs to the back and your chest toward your hands. Find that long line. Breathing in for 3. Exhale for 3. On your next inhale, come into your tippy toes. Exhale, step your right foot forward, step your left foot forward. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hands. Step your left leg back, step your right leg back. High level plank. Number 2. Keep activating through the core. Keep activating through the quads. Belly away from your thighs. Long line from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. Shoulders over your wrists. And taking an inhale to prepare, exhale, release your knees, your belly and your chest, come all the way down to the ground. This time keep your hands in line with your chest and taking an inhale, raise up to your cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips back, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here, breathing in for 3. Keep lengthening down your spine from your tailbone up to the crown of your head. Breathing in for 2. Imagine you're pulling away a strap with your bicep. Keep them active. Keep your forearms active too. Breathing in for 1. Keep releasing down through the heels. Don't worry if they don't touch the ground. On your next inhale, prepare. Exhale, step, float or jump forward at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, reach all the way up, Urdhva Vrikshasanana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hands, step back to your high level plank. This time, slide your shoulders over your wrists and bending your elbows alongside your ribcage. Find your Chaturanga Dandasana. You can release your knees to the ground if you have to. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. Breathing in for 3. Keep extending your arms. Make sure you're not collapsing into your elbows. Breathing in for 2. Keep sending your thighs to the back, activating through the quads so you don't collapse into your knees. Breathing in for 1. Exhale for 1. On your next inhale, pay attention. Roll forward to your high level plank. And on the exhale, bend your elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper dog, pay attention. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, it's back. Downward facing dog. Once again, inhale, roll forward, high level plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper dog. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, it's back. Downward facing dog. From here, walk your feet a tiny bit toward your hands. Take a shorter downward facing dog and sliding your shoulders over your wrists. Take 3 or 4 bandhi hops, lifting your hips over your shoulders with control. Find the activation of your mula bandha, your lower abdominal muscle, so you're really squeezing in, releasing down slowly your feet behind your hands at the top of your mat. Take your time if you're trying. If you're using a wall, feel free to use a wall. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, land at the top of your mat. Taking an inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, extend your hands alongside your ears. Find your chair pose. Exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lean forward, lengthen up your spine and grounding your hands. Step float or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper facing dog or cobra. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky. Bend your right knee to open. Exhale, level your hips. Right knee toward your forehead. Arch your spine here. Inhale, send it back with control. Exhale, right knee toward your forehead. Stay here for 3. Squeeze your right shin through the chest, arching your spine like a hungry cat for 2. Keep activating through the core. Extend your arms for 1. Gently place your right foot between your hands and raise up, high level lunge, releasing your left hip on inhale. Exhale, release your hands, frame your right foot, float back, vinyasa. Smoothly and with control is a breathing practice. Remember that 4 breath count. Inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky. Bend your left hip to open. Exhale, level your hips, left knee toward your forehead. Inhale, send it back with control. Exhale, left knee toward your forehead. Stay here for 3. Squeezing your left shin through the chest, arching your spine for 2. Keep extending through your arms using your core for 1. Softly place your left foot and taking an inhale, reach your hands all the way up. Exhale, release your hands, frame your left foot, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, it's back. Downward facing dog. You can take 3 breaths here, or you can lower your forearms down to the ground, taking dolphin. If you want to take your child pose, always take your child pose whenever it's needed. Softening down your breath. Remember that 4 breath count on the exhale. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog whenever you're ready. And taking an inhale to prepare. Exhale, step float, bunny hop up at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, extend your arms alongside your ears. Exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hand, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky. Bend your right knee to open. Exhale, slowly slide your right knee toward your forehead. Inhale, send it back with control. Exhale, right knee across the body toward your left elbow. You can extend your right leg to the ground, taking your fallen start, or you can hold it here for 3, using your core, building up strength for 2. Keep reaching your left hand up to the ceiling for 1. Softly release your left hand, reach your right leg up. Exhale, right foot between your hands, high level lunge. Pay attention here, take an inhale. Exhale, release your hands, lift your left leg up, standing split for 3. Maybe you walk your hands forward and you float up to your handstand for 2. Maybe you try 1 more time for 1. And whenever you're ready, frame your right foot, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky. Bend your left knee to open. Exhale, left knee toward your forehead. Inhale, send it back with control. Exhale, left knee across the body toward your right bicep. You can release your left foot to the ground, reaching your right hand up. Or maybe you can hold on up for 3. Using your core to really activate your core and hold your leg for 2. Keep pushing your left hand firmly to the ground for 1. Inhale, release your right hand, reach your left leg up. Exhale, left foot between your hands. High level lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, release your hands, lift your right leg up, standing split for 3. Or again, you can walk your hands forward and leaning forward. You can float up, taking your handstand for 2. Maybe pointing up to the toes for 1. Softly see if you can release down to your Chaturanga
Don't worry if none of this happens, it's totally fine. You have plenty of time to learn wherever you are. Find your downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths in child pose, that's what I will do. Taking 3 breaths in downward dog or maybe in dolphin. Making sure you remember that 4 breath count again is a breathing practice. Soften down your breath wherever you are. Don't rush for anything at all. On your own time, come to find your downward facing dog. And taking an inhale to prepare, exhale, step flow to jump up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, reach your hands up, find your chair pose. And on the exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hand, lean forward, come into your TV toes. See if you can float back to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper facing dog or cobra. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky, bend your right knee to open. Exhale, slide your right knee toward your right bicep and stay here for 3 maybe. Or maybe you bend your elbows and you take your forehand balance, your hand balance for 2. Pointing your left toes to the sky for 1. Softly release your left foot, reach your right leg up. Exhale, find your high level lunge. Inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, release your hands, find your standing split for 3. Maybe you float up to your handstand for 2. Keep softening down through the exhale for 1. Softly release down your back leg and float back to your vinyasa. Smoothly and with control is a breathing practice. Inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky, bend your left knee to open. Exhale, drag the left knee toward your left bicep, and maybe you stay here building up strength. Or maybe you lean forward and you lift out to your Kundinyasana for 2. Make sure you use your core to hold on to the pose. For 1. Inhale, release your right leg, reach your left leg up. Exhale, find your high level lunge. Inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, release your hands, point your right toes, standing split, or maybe handstand 1 more time. I know, feel free to play around if you feel more fiery today. Otherwise, take your time here, and whenever you're ready, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. You can stay here, or you can take one last session of Surya B. Inhale, reach up, find your high lunge. Exhale, release your hands, point your left toes, standing split for 3. Extending down through the back of your right leg for 2. If you're upside down, take your time for 1. On your own time, float back, take your vinyasa. Smoothly and with control, keep that connection with your breath. Inhale, place your left foot forward, reach your hands all the way up, high level lunge. Exhale, release your hands, lift your right leg up, standing split for 3. Keep softening down through your breath for 2. Taking 1 more deep breath here, wherever you are. Float back to your vinyasa. Always take your time to your vinyasa. Never rush. And from here, find your downward facing dog. If you need to release down to your child pose, take a moment. If you want to lower your forearms, lower your forearms. If you were already there and you skipped the last area, take your time and stay there to catch up with your breath as much as you need to. Remember, it's a breathing practice. Soften down through the exhale. Whenever you're ready, from where you are, come to find your downward facing dog. And taking an inhale to prepare, exhale, step low to bunny hop up at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, extend your hands, find your chair pose. And taking 3 deep breaths here, start to bring your weight to the heels so you lift your toes away from the ground for 2. Imagine you're holding a crystal ball between your hands, activate your bicep. For 1, softly interlace your fingers behind you and taking an inhale to open. On the exhale, release your belly toward your thighs. Maybe you come into your tippy toes, maybe not. For 3, keep squeezing down through the thighs, activate your glutes. For 2,
Keep softening down to your breath. For 1, softly release your hands down to the ground and see if you can slide your knees behind your bicep without moving so you float up to your crow pose. Maybe you stay here for 3, or maybe you release your head down to the ground for your tripod. Maybe you're using a support between your head and the ground because you're learning now to get into your crow, and that's okay, lifting 1 leg at a time. If you're upside down on your tripod, make sure your elbows are in, so you use your bicep and not the back of your neck to hold on into the pose. Wherever you are, take a kneel to prepare, and on the exhale, step, float, or jump back to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper facing dog cobra, take your time. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky, bend your right knee to open, and placing your right foot outside your left leg, find your vaulting here. Opening up all the right side of the body, lifting your chest. You can stay here, or if you have a full wheel transition, turn the stop arm with your fingers facing your feet. Opposite weight and arm on the ground, and you maybe find your full wheel. Otherwise, stay here, this is harder. And taking a kneel to prepare. On the exhale, release your right hand down, reach your right leg up. Exhale, right foot between your hands, find your high level lunge. Inhale, reach your hands up and take 3 deep breaths here. Take a moment to land into the pose. 4, 2, keep releasing down your left thigh, squeezing through your left glute. 4, 1, softly ground your left foot, take a wider stand and come to land on your warrior 2 pose, making sure that both feet are grounded equally. Making sure that your right knee is externally rotate, don't cave in with your knee, otherwise it's all on your joints. Lengthening up your spine, relaxing your shoulders, your neck. 1 more deep breath here. Inhale, turn your right palm to the sky. Exhale, reverse your warrior, reaching your left calf with your left hand, or maybe catching the outside of your right thigh. Maybe you lift your right heel away from the ground. Make sure you're not losing that warrior 2 stand if you do so. Make sure you're not collapsing to the back. Keep leading with your chest. Are you breathing? 1 more breath here. Softly release your bind, release your heel. Take an inhale, open up your arms. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, fall down, humble warrior, 4, 4. Grounding through that back leg so you have stability, 4, 3. Opening up your chest, extending your arms, 4, 2. Make sure you're not caving in with your right knee. 4, 1, inhale, raise all the way up, extend your arms and extend your right leg. Inhale, go long with the right side of the body, go as far as you can go. And on the exhale, you fall down and you find your triangle pose. Make sure you're not collapsing into the right side of the body, keep the long line. Maybe you take your bind, placing your left hand outside your right thigh. Maybe extend your right arm alongside your right here, 4, 3. Feeling the deep stretch behind your right leg, 4, 2. Feeling the activation of the outside of your left thigh, 4, 1. Softly bend your right knee. Step your left foot a tiny bit in and placing your right hand in front of you. Take a inhale, lean forward, softly here, be slow. Exhale, land on your half moon pose. Pushing your left heel toward an imaginary wall to the back. Activating your standing leg so you have stability here. Squeeze your glutes, open up your chest, maybe extending your left arm to the ceiling. If you want to bend your left knee, you can catch your left heel with your left hand. 1 more deep breath here. Softly release down your left foot at the back of the mat. Slide your right hand inside your right foot and pushing your right knee with your right bicep so you make sure you're not caving in. Extend your left arm over your left here, 4, 5. Or maybe you come with me taking a bind and looking over your right toe, take an inhale, and on the exhale, step your left foot forward. Inhale, slowly drag your right foot up to the ceiling, to the bird of paradise. Don't worry about extending your right leg, but make sure you're squeezing through your left glute, opening up your chest, and slowly, with control, release that right foot to the ground. Take your time if you need longer, and gently place your left foot to the back. And everyone, release your hands down to the ground until you find your runner's lunge. Take a moment here, and taking an inhale, reach your hands up. Take your Kali Mudra pistol grip, and leading with your chest, find your Haro lunge. 4, 3. Make sure you're squeezing that back leg, your glutes and your quads. 4, 2. Make sure you're pushing your right heel firmly at the front of your mat. 4, 1. Inhale, place your hands in front of your chest and leaning forward with control, drag your left leg up. Find your warrior 3, pushing your left heel to the back. Keep opening up your chest. 3 deep breaths here. 4, 2, keep grounding to that standing leg. 4, 1, softly bend your left knee. Catch your left heel with your left hand and extending your right arm forward. You lift up to your dancer pose. You can stay here 4, 5, give it a try, looking at one still point, or maybe if you have the full variation, you can take the full variation, but make sure you're not using the flexibility of your lower back. Keep squeezing through your left glute. Keep opening through your left hip, opening up through your chest. And softly, wherever you are, release your back leg. Slowly release your hands down to the ground. Find your standing split. You can take 3 long breaths here, or maybe more, or you walk your hands a little bit farther and leaning forward, you reach up to your handstand. Make sure that your shoulders go over your wrist if you do so. So maybe you take tiny rocks back and forth. Don't worry if you don't have your handstand. Keep leaning forward with control. And maybe you take tiny L shapes, like this, leading with the lifted leg. Take your time, take as much time as you need to, don't rush. And whenever you're ready on your own time, float back to your vinyasa. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. Take the time to release down to that 4 breath count. And from your downward facing dog, roll forward to your high level plank on the inhale. And on the exhale, release your knees, your belly and your chest. And come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, interlace your fingers behind you. And extending your arms, lift your toes, your thighs, lift your chest, finding your Shalabhasana, strengthening your lower back. This is a very good exercise if you're opening your upper body and you want to strengthen your lower back and glutes. Are you breathing? And softly release down to the ground for a moment. Shake your hips from side to side, releasing down through the hips. And placing your hands in front of you, come to find a Sphinx pose. And tucking your toes, take an inhale. And on the exhale, lift your hips. Find your forearm plank here, lifting your belly away from your thighs. And turning your feet to the left side. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling. Maybe you step your left foot up. 4, 3. Creating a banana shape with your hips. That's very important. 4, 2. Activate those tiny muscles between your shoulder blades. This is where you're working on. 4, 1. Softly release down your left hand. Release your hips, your belly and your chest coming to the ground. And keeping your Sphinx pose. Elbows below your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Find your dolphin pose. Walking your feet as close as you can to your elbows. And taking a few rocks back and forth. You can stay here for 5, building up strength. Or maybe you lift up your right leg for 5. Maybe you lift your left leg for more 5 and after. Or maybe you reach up, taking your forearm balance. Try to not kick up though if you're doing so. Try to step up into your forearms balance. Find that control. You want to have your hips over your shoulders. Try to walk your feet as close as you can to your elbows if you're working on it. Opening up your chest, make sure you're not collapsing into your shoulders and neck.
And whenever you're ready to release to your child pose, release down. And taking an inhale in through the nose, exhale completely out through the mouth. Let everything go. Let your pose go. Let the physicality, the shapes of the practice go. Just go back to your breath. And whenever you're ready, find your downward facing dog. And taking an inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky and bending your left knee, come to find your wild thing on your left side, leading with your chest and hips. And again, if you're transiting, learning how to get into your full wheel, make sure the grounded hand fingers are facing forward, while the top hand fingers are gonna face towards your feet. So they go in the opposite direction, and once that hand is flat on the ground, then you turn the other one back. And before going back to your wild thing, turn the hand back again, and then you lift the left hand away, releasing it down to the ground. Taking an inhale, point your left toes. Exhale, place your left foot, find your high level lunge. Inhale, reach up, taking 3 deep breaths here. Make sure you give space to the spine, don't collapse into your lower back. Make sure you're squeezing through your right glute so you open up your right hip. One more deep breath here. Inhale, reach up, ground through your back leg, and on the exhale, land on your warrior two. Breathing in 4-4, make sure both feet are grounded equally. Breathing in 4-3, keep that external rotation into your left thigh. Activate your left outer thigh and your glutes. Breathing in 4-2, keep extending your arms, imagine you're holding books on top of your hands. Breathing in 4-1, make sure you're not leaning forward, keep releasing down your inner left thigh. On your next inhale, turn your left palm to the sky. Exhale, reverse your warrior, maybe catching the outside of the left thigh with your right hand, maybe lifting your left heel away from the ground. Making sure you don't lose your breath, keep softening your breath. Your breath should be exactly like it was before starting your practice. And gently releasing your bind, go back to your warrior, take an inhale, open up your arms. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Inhale, reach your chest up. Exhale, fall down, humble warrior, hands over your head, 4-4. Make sure you're not scooping your left glute to the side, keep leveling your hips, 4-3. Keep grounding your back leg so you have stability, 4-2. Keep opening up your chest, relax your neck, 4-1. Inhale, use your core, use your Mula Bandha to reach all the way up. Extend your arms, extend your left leg. Inhale, lean forward with left side of the body. And on the exhale, you fall to your triangle pose. Or maybe you take your bind with your right hand catching the outside of your left thigh. Maybe you extend your left arm alongside your left here. 2 more deep breaths here, making sure your back leg is grounded. 1 more breath here. Softly bending your left knee, keep the bind if you have it. Step your right foot a bit in and releasing your left hand below your left shoulder. You lean forward and you step your right foot up, finding your half moon pose. Grounding with control with your left leg, pushing your right heel toward an imaginary wall, reaching your right hand to the sky. Maybe you catch the outside of your right heel, taking your bind, releasing down the top of your right quad, squeezing through your right glute, imagine you're kicking your right heel to the back. And softly release your bind if you have it, release that right foot at the back. And place your left hand inside your left knee so you don't cave in with your left knee, and extend your right arm over your right ear. You can take 5 deep breaths here, or you can come with me. If you have your bind, take your bind, and looking over your left big toe, take an inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhale with control, push your right foot to the ground, drag your left leg up, finding your bird of paradise. Extending slowly through your left leg, looking over your right shoulder. Don't worry if you don't extend your left leg. Make sure you're not collapsing with your spine. And slowly release your left foot to the ground. Step your right foot back. And with control, release your hands to the ground for your runner lunge. Take a moment here, catch up with your breath. And taking an inhale, reach your hands all the way up, high level lunge. Interlace your fingers to your pistol grip. And taking an inhale, reach your chest up. Exhale, lean forward, find your horror lunge. I know barbecue of your left thigh. I'm doing it with you. I'm suffering with you. One more deep breath here. And softly place your hands in prayer in front of your chest. Take an inhale, lean forward. Exhale, step your right leg up. Find your warrior three. Cobra, up your chest, 4, 3. Shoulders away from your ears. Lengthen to the spine, 4, 2. Keep engaging the lifted leg. 4, 1. Softly bend that right knee. And you can catch the inside or outside of your right heel. Extending your left arm, finding your dancer pose. Or maybe if you're going for the full variation, you can take the full variation. But again, make sure you use your chest and your hips. So you don't collapse, you don't crunch into your lumbar. Keep squeezing your right glute. That's very important. That's what you want to use to kick up the right leg. And softly release with control. Releasing your hands down to the ground. Point your right toes and find your standing split. You can stay on your standing split for 3 or 4 breaths. Or if you want to come with me, place your hands a bit forward. Rock forward, keeping your right leg up. And taking an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, lead with your lifted leg. That's very important to step up. If you don't have a handstand, it's totally fine. You don't need it outside. So it's okay. It's just a fun part in the practice. Take tiny hell shapes. Like this. This is how you learn. Keep trying. No more if it doesn't happen. Who cares? No one sees it. So but keep trying. It's fun. It's going to bring your energy up. And whenever you're ready to float back to your vinyasa, take your time and float back to your vinyasa. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. If at any point you need to release down to your child pose, feel free to release down, taking as much time as you want there. You can stay there for the rest of the practice. No one is watching you, so take the time. Otherwise, whenever you find your downward facing dog, take an inhale, roll forward to your high level plank and releasing your knees, your belly and your chest. Come all the way down to the ground once again. Second exercise to strengthen the lower back. Catch a break if you have the break. I hope you have it by now. You can use a book or anything else, a cat if you have a cat or a dog. Otherwise, extending your arms in line with your ears. Take an inhale, reach up to the chest. Lift your toes, lift your thighs. And hold on for 4 deep breaths. If you have your breaks, make sure your fingers are free. Hold the break from the bottom of your hands. Squeeze into your glutes. 2 deep breaths here. 4, 1. And softly release everything down. Oh God. Let it go. Make a pillow with your forearms. Shake your hips from side to side. Take a moment to chill. Take a moment to go back to your breath. And placing your forearms again in front of you. Find a Sphinx pose. Elbows below your shoulders, that's very important. Hands flat on the ground and tucking your toes. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift your hips away from the ground, finding your forearm plank. And turning both feet to the right side. Raise your right hand up to the ceiling. Maybe you step your right foot on top of your left foot for 3. Activating through the core, banana shape with your hips, 4, 2. Activate through those tiny muscles here between your shoulder blades, 4, 1. Softly release your right hand down to the ground and walking your feet as close as you can through the elbows, you find your dolphin pose. So now if you have something you can hold on, you can try holding on something this time. Otherwise you can take a prayer with your hands, trying something different. And walking your feet as close as you can again rock your head back and forth to build up strength. Or maybe this time lifting your left leg. See if you can step up into your pincha. Maybe you need to release your head closer to your hands to find that lift, and then you remove your head away. Give it a try. If you need to use a wall, use a wall. It's a good tool to learn. Otherwise, if you just want to chill out on your child pose, you can always take your child pose and stay there as much as you need to. Take your time. If you're upside down, take the time to explore the practice. And again, make sure you're not collapsing with your shoulders. And whenever you're ready, release down to your child pose. Belly toward your thighs. And taking an inhale through the nose, exhale out through your mouth. Let it go. Let the shape of the pose go. Take a moment to release. And finding your downward facing dog. Extending through the legs, opening up your chest. Taking an inhale, roll forward to your high level plank. This time turn your feet toward the left side and reach your left hand up, finding your side plank. Reaching up, maybe you come to your plank. Maybe you bend your left knee, placing your left foot inside your right thigh. Maybe you catch your left big toes, bending through the right knee to give that lift. And you extend your right leg up for 3. Opening up your chest. Are you breathing? You should be able to chill here for 2. One more deep breath here. Softly release your bind. Slowly release that left leg. Release your left hand down. Find your high level plank. And turning both feet toward the right side. Reach your right hand up. Maybe you find your plank. Maybe you step your right foot inside your left thigh. Or maybe you catch your right big toes, bending your left knee for a moment and extending your right leg. You find your Vashisthasana for 3. Opening up your chest to the ceiling for 2. Keep squeezing through the glutes. For 1. Softly release down your right leg. Release down your right hand. And taking your vinyasa with control, we're gonna meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, come into your tippy toes to inhale. Exhale, step flow to jump your feet to the top of your mat. Finding your Malasana squat. Releasing down through your inner thighs. And releasing your hands down to the ground. Extend your legs. And catch your big toes with your topless fingers. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fall down to your Padangusthasana. Soften down your breath, releasing down the back of your legs. And releasing your toes, place your hands forward and step your left leg backward until you find your pyramid pose. If you need to use a support, you can use a support between your hands and the ground, making sure that your spine is long. Otherwise, just walk your fingers as far as you can go so you feel the deep stretch behind your right leg. Softening down and bending your right knee. Come into your left toes and release your left knee down to the ground until you find your low lunge. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to open. Taking 3 deep breaths here. If you want, you can lift your left knee away from the ground to go deeper for 2. One more breath here for 1. Softly release down your knee, release your hands, sliding your left hip over your left knee. Find your half split. You can take 5 deep breaths here, flexing your right foot, stretching the back of your right leg, or maybe you can walk your left leg backward and you find your full split here. Try to not collapse into your flexibility though if you have a full split. Keep building up strength, sending your right hip backward, your left hip forward, squeezing through your inner thighs. Activate your Mula Bandha. And softly release down, slide your right foot back below your right knee, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee, walk your hands inside your right foot, and turning to the side of the mat, come into your left heel, lifting your left toes, and you find your ninja pose. If you need your hands on the ground, feel free to release your hands on the ground. Otherwise, try to keep them in prayer. We'll take 3 deep breaths here. 4, 2, soften down your breath. 4, 1, softly release your hands. Walk across the mat. Turn your hands to the front, framing your left foot. And grounding your right heel, go back to the pyramid stand. Again, if you're using support between your hands and the ground, feel free to use that support. Otherwise, keep breathing here, maybe walking your hands a bit farther forward. Are you breathing? Keep releasing through your breath. And softly lift your right heel, bend your left knee, and releasing your right knee down to the ground, find your low lunge. This time interlace your fingers behind you and taking an inhale to open. On the exhale, take 3 deep breaths. Maybe you lift your right knee away from the ground for 2. Try to not collapse into your lumbar. Keep leading with your chest. For 1. Softly release down that right knee. Release your hands. Slide your right hip over your right knee and extending your left leg, come to find your half split. Leading with your chest, you can stay here for 5. For me, it's already very intense. Otherwise, if you want to go to your full split, go to your full split. But just don't chill out here if you have a full split. It won't serve you. Try to build up strength, like send your left hip backward, right hip forward. Activate those inner thighs. Push the ground away. Squeezing in. 1 more breath. And softly release your right knee, slide your left foot back below your left knee, place your hands inside your left foot, lift your right knee, turn your feet to the side of the mat, come into your right heel, lifting your right toes, and find your ninja pose to the left. You can release your hands to the ground, or you can just stay here for 3. Try to lift your left glute in line with your left knee. I know it's very intense on your left eye. 4, 2. Building up strength while you release the back of your right leg. For 1. Softly release your hands. Move across the mat. Place your hands to the front and float back, taking your vinyasa smoothly and with control. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, step low to jump to the top of your mat and come to find a seated position. Toes to big soles of the feet together, knees release, butterfly your legs for a moment. And taking an inhale, reach your chest up to the ceiling. Exhale, lean forward and fall down to your Baddha Konasana. Try to lead with your chest here, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Don't collapse like this. Keep leading with your chest. Find a deep opening in directly from your hips. Open up. The front of your body is longer than the back of the body. And softly release your pose. And catching your big toes, take an inhale, reach your chest up. And on the exhale, lift your feet away from the ground. You can stay here, or maybe you can extend your legs. Maybe you extend them completely, taking 5 breaths here or here. Or maybe you release your toes and you stay here for 4. Activate through the core and hip flexors. 4, 3. I know, keep leading with your chest. Relax your shoulders. 4, 2. 1 more breath here. Slowly bring your legs together. If you had your toes, catch the outside of the thighs. Otherwise, come with me into Navasana. 4, 5. Leading with your chest. 4, 4. Activate through the core. 4, 3. 2 more breaths here. We can do it. 4, 2. 1 more here. And softly release all the way down to the ground. Bring your knees to the chest. Massage your lower back for a moment. Take the time to release. And placing your feet flat on the ground, I'll give you 3 options directly. Make sure you have a support if you want to move to a restorative closing. Otherwise, brushing your heels with your feet. Open up your hands in a cactus shape. And taking an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, lift your hips away from the ground. And you find your bridge pose. Otherwise, bring your hands toward your shoulders, elbows and fingers out. And pushing the ground away, you raise up to your full wheel. Option 3. From your bridge, you place a support between your sacrum and the ground. And extending your legs, you release here for at least 1 minute into your supported bridge. So you open up all the front of the body. If you're on your full wheel, make sure you're leading with your chest to the back. Try to bring your chest over your breast, maybe coming into your tippy toes. And make sure you don't feel anything into your lower back at all. Lead with your chest. Lead with your hips. Give space to the spine. And bringing your chin toward your chest. Softly release down to the ground. With control, wimble your legs from side to side. Take a moment to release. And from here you can take another back bend, a full wheel, another bridge. Maybe you can release into your forearms like this. So once you come to your wheel, you release your head to the ground, bending your elbows. Then you release one forearm at a time to the ground, leading with your chest. So you go deeper into the opening of the chest. Are you breathing? Make sure you keep that connection with your breath. And releasing your head back to the ground. Place one hand at a time back to the ground. Pushing the ground away. Transit to your wheel. Chin to chest. And slowly release all the way down to the ground. Well done. Release slowly your knees to the chest. Hug your shins. Soften your breath. Taking pure rolls from side to side. And placing your left foot to the ground. Place your right foot on top of your left knee. So find a 4 shape with your right thigh and sending your left knee toward your chest. Hug the outside of your left leg. Maybe extending the leg, maybe staying here. Squeezing your right foot toward the chest. Try to bring it closer. Coming to your dead pigeon. I know that's a very sad vision to have. Ugly pigeon. Laying down pigeon is better. So coming here, find that release outside your right thigh. Releasing slowly, your shoulders are flat on the ground. Soften down your breath. If you're extending your left leg, you can catch your left heel, bring your leg closer to the chest. Don't worry if it doesn't happen, just chill here, it's fine. I think that's already quite intense outside your right thigh, if you're like me. Otherwise, softly placing your left foot to the ground, bring your right hand on top of your right knee, keep that 4 shape, and pushing your right foot until it touches the ground. Keep that 4 shape the whole time. Open up your hands in a T shape and look over your right shoulder. Maybe to go deeper, you catch your right knee with your left hand, and you fold your knee closer to the ground so you release your lower back and middle back. For 3, for 2, for 1. Softly release down to your supine twist. And bringing your knees back to the chest, release your right foot to the ground this time, placing your left foot on top of your right knee. Find that 4 shape again, preparing for dead pigeon, ugly pigeon, however you decided to call it, and catching the outside of your right thigh. Try to bring your left foot as close as you can to the chest. Don't worry if you don't go close, as long as you feel the stretch outside your left thigh, into your left glute and outside of the thigh, it's totally fine. You can stay here, maybe you can extend your right leg, catching your right heel, softening down your breath. Make sure your left foot is flexed, your shoulders are flat on the ground. This is an exercise you can do anytime without warm up as well. It's quite nice actually for you to know. And if you're a runner, that's what you want to do after you run, trust me. It's very nice on your hamstrings and IT band. Softly from here, release down your right foot to the ground. Place your left hand on top of your left knee and folding over the right. Keep that 4 shape. Release your left foot to the right. Open up your hands on a T shape. Look over your left shoulder. And if you want to go deeper, catch your left knee with your right hand. So you go deeper into the intensity of the twist. Taking 3 deep breaths here. You can close your eyes if you want to. You're grounding your practice. 4, 2. Keep softening down with control. 4, 1. Softly from here. If you need to stay longer, feel free to stay longer. Otherwise, bring your knees toward the chest, hugging the outside of your thighs. Release your knees inside your armpit, catch the outside of your feet,
And taking a few rolls from side to side, find your happy baby, massaging your lower back. If there's any closing pose you want to take, if you're working through your headstand, or if you're working on your shoulder stand, feel free to get a little bit, few minutes extra to extend the length of the practice. Otherwise, if you're coming with me, touch the outside of your thighs and taking a few rocks back and forth on your spine, come to find a seated position. And once you find your seated position, maybe sit over something on a bolster, if you want to be comfortable, over a pillow or a brick. And closing your eyes, take a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhaling everything out through the mouth. Again, inhale in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Keeping your lips sealed. Take an inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold your inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently let it go. Exhale out, completely out. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold your inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale completely out. Empty your lungs. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale completely. Empty out your lungs here. Empty, empty, empty. And hold your empty lungs, activating your Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. 4, 3, 4, 2. Hold on. 4, 1. Gently release your bandhas. Inhale softly. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale completely here. Empty your lungs. Empty, empty, empty. Hold your empty lungs. Activate your bandhas. 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1. Softly release your bandhas. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold your inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale completely out. Empty your lungs completely and hold your empty lungs for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently exhale completely out. Empty, empty. Hold your empty lungs for 3, for 2, for 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Hold your breath for 3, for 2, for 1. Exhale completely out. Empty your lungs. Empty, empty, empty. Hold empty lungs for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 2 more rounds on your own. And if you want to take 2 minutes of seated meditation, that's the time. After your pranayama exercise, that's the time where you release. Otherwise, if you want to move to your shavasana, feel free to lay down on your shavasana. Maybe releasing your legs on top of your couch, of your chair, or your bed, or against the wall. Releasing down any control over your body. Releasing down any control over your breath, gathering the benefit of your practice. want to stay down a little bit longer, feel free to turn off your device and stay down as much as you need to. Same if you're doing your meditation and you want to hold it for a bit longer. Otherwise, if you're coming to closing with me, start to bring awareness back to your body, releasing down through your head, releasing your fingers and toes. Taking one last deep stretch, extend your arms, pointing your toes, and sliding your knees toward your chest, hug your shins, taking a few rolls from side to side, and folding over your left or your right hand side, however you prefer. Try to keep your eyes closed during the whole closing. Come to find your seated position. And bringing your hands in front of your chest, give yourself a big thank you for putting so much effort into your practice this evening, for virtually sharing it with everyone else in the space, in the virtual space. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through the practice tonight. Have a lovely rest of the week. Jai Ma. Jai means victory. Thank you. Thank you guys. If you have questions, feel free to drop me a message on the right hand side chat, or you can contact me on Instagram at any time. If you want to show me a sequence or something, just checking in how you're doing poses, feel free to PM me. I'm happy to double check with you or I'm happy to give you tips. Otherwise, yes, if you're working on something in particular, drop me a message too. I would love to help you and guide you through. Thank you. Bye. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you, Nina. Thank you for coming. Happy you made it. Thank you, Fai. I'm happy you managed. Yes, if there's something you're working on, really feel free to message me. I do have plenty of time at the moment, so don't hesitate. If you're working on something, just message me and tell me I need help with this, and I'm really happy to help you. Oh, so nice to hear you girls made it. I'll turn off the video, but you can still message me for anything.